Nice to have you with me here on The Doctor Is In.
You have always been a voice of reason through all of this.
Appreciate your time, what you're doing for America.
I give you advice, and it doesn't work at all.
You are definitely not inept by any means.
I like to hear women say that about me.
Whatever advice you're going to send my way, I am 100% taking it.
I can't tell you what to do. I will not tell you what to do.
Okay. Well, thanks.
That wasn't the answer I wanted.
Are you kidding me?
Great stuff, Dr. Ray. I'm glad I called.
I've scheduled my day around listening to your radio show.
You don't have to laugh so hard.
Now, from the studios of Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio, the hometown of Mother Angelica, here's Dr. Ray.
Nice little bebop introduction. Thank you so very much. I appreciate getting back with you in the routine of things. The number to get onto the program is the same number we've had for 20-some years, 877. You know, back in the old days, 877, that was good because it implied it was free, but everybody's got smartphones now, and you can call anywhere, pretty much in the whole world, anytime you want. Not like when I was a kid with your rotary dial. If you made a long-distance call from college, it was $12.62 per word. So the number, 877-573-7825. 877-57 Dr. Ray, you're giving your age away. Long distance, $12 a word. I know. That's why I hand wrote notes to friends in college. 877-57 The number, if you wish to be on the program for any one of a number of reasons. Most common, situation in your life, circumstances, anything along the lines of troublesomeness, frustration, puzzlement, kids, jobs, stress, life, in-laws, questions about generic stuff. Words you might not understand in psychology, or perhaps cultural influences that are disturbing your peace. Sometimes people will call in to give help and options to folks who have just left the line and say, Dr. Ray, you didn't mention this. You didn't mention this. And I acquiesce. I say, yeah, I didn't mention it because I only talked to him for 4 minutes. There's a whole bunch of things I didn't mention. You know, how often you switch your kitty litter, when you mow your lawn. I didn't mention any of that stuff. So again, the number is, so I would be delighted to speak with you, 877-573-7825. I double dog dare you to call me. I would triple dog dare you, but then, by the laws of informal etiquette, social reciprocation, you would have to. Guys do. Women don't. Women go, that's ridiculous. Just reach a triple dog dare me with no reverses. Let's not do that. Guys are like, well, that's a triple dog dare, man. You can't, you got to respond to that. If I say, I triple dog dare you to jump off of this 50-foot cliff into that bucket of water. It's a triple dog dare. Well, you'd have to. You just have to. You could pretend you didn't hear it. All right. All of that said, I want to congratulate an EWTN radio partner, KHNA FM 94.3, serving Sheridan, Wyoming. Man, I love Wyoming. That is just a big place. Big place. All kinds of mountains and big pine trees. They've been 10 years now. 10 years this week as their anniversary with EWTN. Congratulations to Gregory Marshall and the team, the whole team at Aperio. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Aperio Radio. From all of us here at EWTN. All right, Andrew, where is that article? Let me scroll it down. I have mixed feelings about this article that you sent me. That's kind of a dumb way to put it. I shouldn't say mixed feelings. I have mixed thoughts. We're at the very bottom. I'm scrolling all the way. Here we go. I love it because here's right away quick. This is one of my problems with these articles, and they're all over the place, and this is one of the reasons why parents are so insecure and nervous, and dare I say sometimes neurotic, about raising children. The article says, Psychologists warn. There you are. Look out. Don't do this. You'll ruin your kid. Are they saying don't scream at your kid? Are they saying don't beat him? Are they saying don't completely ignore him? No. When we psychologists got to warn you for stuff, a lot of times what we got to warn you with is stuff that you would normally do and that many people do in the normal course of parenthood. But then we've decided this ain't good because we got letters after our name, you know. Psychologists warn these 7 nice, and they have that in quotes, phrases from parents and grandparents actually, and here is how you do it, create anxiety in kids. See, so we warn you, and then we say what you're doing, which you might naturally do, or which people have always done, and then we tell you, oh, don't you realize the deleterious effects? Okay, I'll start out kind of where now, who am I to critique an article? Well, I'm probably equal to the person who wrote the article in experience anyway. Psychologists say that the desire to protect our children and grandchildren is instinctual. Well, you don't need psychologists to tell you that. God tells you that. Human history tells you that. Common sense tells you that. You don't need psychologists say. Did you know that? It's a good thing I told you that, isn't it? That you could protect your children, because that's instinctual. Oh, thanks, Dr. A. So when and this is a woman named Dr. Amy, I don't know how to pronounce this, Todey, Todey. She's a psychologist. Here she says, so when we caution a child, we rush to reassure them or gently nudge them away from fear or sadness. It feels like good parenting. It feels carrying. Okay, note the unspoken. It feels like it. Unspoken is, it's not. Unfortunately, okay, here you go. Dr. Todi and other psychologists warn that these phrases we use. Oh, Andrew just jumped out of my sight here. Hold on a second. These phrases we use to support kids can unintentionally, see, that's a scary word. You don't even know you're doing it. All right? This is why parents are so nervous and neurotic. It's like, man, I'm messing my kid up and I don't even know it. Can unintentionally make children think the world is more threatening than it is. Now, I agree with that part. You don't want to have a kid think the world is more threatening than it is. And if you let them watch a lot of TV, they're going to think that. And that's going to do a lot more problem than just saying these phrases. As a result, they may engage in less developmentally appropriate risk-taking and problem-solving, which can make it harder to build their emotional resilience they need to handle the things life throws their way. I got that part. The part is, our kids are kind of a little wobbly emotionally because we so much hover over them and shield them from too many things. Like I used to call it in one of my books, bulldozer parenting. That's true. But here's where I struggle with this. To avoid all that. Now, first of all, you're not going to avoid all that just by not using these phrases. That's just dumb. Psychologists share that it's best for parents and grandparents to steer clear of these 7 nice, in quote, phrases that can actually create anxiety in kids. They reveal which phrases to avoid and what to say instead, and reveal the one phrase children need to hear more often. Well, as far as I'm concerned, the one phrase they need to hear more often is, I love you. But that's okay. Let's find out here. So you ready? Here's the 7 that create anxiety. Reminds me of that old bit by George Carlin, the 7 things you're not allowed to say on TV. Well, poor Carlin, he's long since out of touch because all those things are now said on TV relentlessly. Be careful. Can't say that. Nope. Don't say be careful. Nope. Don't worry, everything will be fine. I know you'll do well. I'm proud of you when. Now, here's the one I most disagree with. I just want you to be happy. Well, if that's the goal, you're going to miss out on a lot of things more important like virtues and contentment. You're my whole world. And this one, don't say this. You realize you're making them anxious and neurotic. Be good. Now, one could say, these are kind of fluff phrases. They don't really mean a whole lot. I know you'll do well. The kid will think, well, I don't know if I'll do well or not. You didn't take the test for me. Or I'm proud of you when. It implies, okay, you gotta achieve for me to be proud of you. I got the thinking behind all this. You're my whole world. Oh boy, they'll say that puts an enormous pressure on the kid, Atlas shrugged with the world on his shoulders there. You're doing that to your kid. I can see where some of these phrases would be not exactly the most substantive things to say, but in terms of creating anxiety, and how often do you have to say them, by the way? If I say, be good, if I'm dropping him off at grandma's house, be good now. What if I'm implying you need to be good for grandma or else I'm going to do something about it? That could be my code phrase, right? But see, I know what they're saying. They're saying be good implies that I really don't expect you to be good, or it implies that to get my approval you have to be good, or worse, good is a value phrase, right? You don't use value. You say it this way, have acceptable behavior, good choices. All right, let me finish it up here. The one phrase that you should tell kids, really? I'm right here with you. Well, I could see that. The kids down and out or feeling sad or unsure, threatened, bullied, whatever it is. Yeah, I got your back. I'm with you. That's great. I like that one. Like that one a lot. I'm not sure I'd say that with a 4-year-old who's melting down and kicking stuff. I'm right here with you. I wonder what they do about that one. And she goes on. She closes with this. Kids need to feel grounded in connection and attunement. Who talks like that? This phrase tells them they're not handling the moment alone and that their feelings make sense and are valid. Well, my feeling that I want to punch my brother in the head, I don't think makes a whole lot of sense. And I don't think it's valid. It's not a good feeling. Well, no, Dr. Ray, that's not what they're saying. They're saying the anger makes sense. Does it? Does anger make sense when it's based upon a situation that really shouldn't foster anger? My little sister just burped, so I'm angry at her. Well, that anger doesn't make sense there. So, this is why I close. This is why so many parents are getting so neurotic about raising kids. Because this is a classic example of all the stuff we experts warn you against. And if you don't listen to us, don't blame me if your kids are going to be on Springer. I tried to tell you. I'm done. And I know you folks will call in. You'll do well, and I'll be proud of you when you call in. You're my whole show. So be careful and be good. Dr. Ray.
Do you own popular index mutual funds or ETFs? If so, you're automatically own shares of companies that conflict with your moral beliefs. Ave Maria mutual funds are managed to conform to pro-life and pro-family values. Long-term investors can invest in the no-load Ave Maria mutual funds. The experienced professional portfolio managers make decisions based on investment fundamentals and pro-life values. You can learn more about Ave Maria mutual funds today at 866-AVE-MARIA or visit AveMariaFunds.com.
As the new year approaches, it's the perfect moment to check off a big resolution early and wrap your family in the gift of security. Planning ahead shows your love in a big way. ensuring your wishes shine through no matter what life brings. At mycatholicwill.com/AVE, you can create your will at no cost from the privacy of your home. The process is straightforward. Go to mycatholicwill.com/AVE and prioritize your family's peace of mind.
Hi, I'm Matthew Handley from PurpleCatholic.com, inviting you to my new program, Death Comes for the Archbishop. Each week, we'll explore Willa Cather's timeless novel of faith and frontier life in 19th century New Mexico. You'll hear vivid narration and thoughtful conversations with historians and theologians who bring its spiritual depth to life. Death Comes for the Archbishop, Saturdays at noon on Ave Maria Radio.
Today's programming is brought to you in part by a gift from our day's sponsor, Todd and Teresa Gross. Thank you so much for your donation to help build the church and bless the nations.
Now you can support Ave Maria Radio by becoming a day sponsor too. Send anyone a message, a friend, a family member, or a priest, just someone close by. Call 877-288-1077 and tell them you want to be a day sponsor.
I'm rather proud of myself. I thought that I was kind of computer illiterate, but when Andrew told me to scroll down to that article that he posted for me, I knew how to scroll. I did that. I scrolled down. Yeah. I mean, I didn't do it very smooth, but I did it. Let's go to Vicky. She's calling from somewhere. We all call from somewhere. Or in the words of Stephen Wright, anywhere is within walking distance if you have enough time. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, how are you?
All righty. You going to motivate yourself? You motivated yourself to call, you know.
Yeah, after 2 weeks, because I know I emailed you a couple weeks ago. So.
Yes, you did. And I thought, you were just like every girl
well.
in college. Yeah, I have a question for you, Ray. And then you don't show up for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Same stuff. You sound young.
Yeah, I'm 21.
21. I got a belt on that's older than that, by the way. Just a thought. Now, when you say you got to get yourself motivated, I'm going to assume it's motivated to do certain things. You may not be motivated to take a nap. I mean, you may not be hard to motivate to take a nap or to eat an ice cream cone, but I'm going to assume it's things you look at and say, I should be doing that.
Yeah, the biggest one is probably work, and then household tasks are another, which I guess is rare. No one really wants to work or do chores, but it's also grown to my hobbies as well. I'll get myself like hyped up to do them. Like I'll tell myself, okay, I'm going to work hard today. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to fold laundry and all that. Or if I have a day off, I'm like, okay, I'll do some scrapbooking or paint or whatever. But then when it comes down to doing it, I just don't want to do it anymore. And all the excitement and motivation just disappears. And instead, I just want to go to bed and lay there.
Is that what you do instead? You just do nothing else instead? You just go lay down?
Sometimes, but other times I just try to push myself and do it. And I am able to get through the task. But I feel like I'm doing it half-heartedly, and I'm just dragging my way through it.
You wouldn't consider yourself depressed, would you?
Well, I recently developed a medical condition, and I take medication for it, and part of that medication side effects is depression and lack of focus and fatigue. And the goal, I'm doing treatment right now to get rid of the medical condition. The goal is to stop taking this medication within the next year. I've kind of struggled with the whole motivation my whole life, but after I started taking medication, it's gotten worse. And even sometimes whenever I want to go and lay in bed and do nothing, I also want to cry for some reason. I don't know why.
Your doctor know this?
It could be depressed. No.
Well, you better tell him or her.
Okay.
There was one medication that I was on just recently after I had my heart surgery, and I went to the doc. I said, no way am I taking this stuff. It just slugged me out. And I said, nope, not happening. Give me something else, or I will deal with this in another way because it's not a medication I wanted to mess with. And he agreed. He said, yeah, it could be an ugly medicine. I said, good, because I'm an ugly guy, so get it out of me. So, Vicki, what I was going to tell you was possibly qualified now by the fact that this could be a physiological thing that's feeding into your lack of motivation. So the first thing I got to suggest, now you got to go talk to the doc. You got to say, hey, look, this stuff makes me want to sleep, and I cry a lot. So that's the first thing. Now, we don't know totally how much of that's the meds and how much of it is you're just frustrated with yourself because you're saying, I just can't do the responsible things. What the heck's wrong with me? That could be right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me give you a couple of suggestions, and you said it at the very beginning. You solved your own problem, and you didn't realize it when you said it. You said, I don't feel like doing it. Vicki, if you only did things that you felt like doing at the moment, a whole bunch of stuff would never get done. You can't wait till you feel like doing it. You tell yourself, I don't want to do this, but I know I need to do it, and I'll feel better when it's done. You debate with yourself, Vicki, if you say, I don't want to fold laundry. Oh, no. I know I should be getting that letter out, that thank you letter, but it just kind of hangs there. Don't debate. You debate, Vicki, and you'll lose. That's the first thing. That's the biggest thing with motivation. You got to get over your inertia. I hate to write. The hardest thing I do is write. That's even harder than weightlifting. But I know that if I sit down and try to put some thoughts to paper, once I get past that first 10 or 15 minutes, I'm more likely to get something done. If I say to myself, I don't feel like writing, I don't want to write, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. So that's the first thing there. You got to know that, in fact, you do it because it is good for you and you'll feel a sense of accomplishment after you're done. This time of year, we get all kinds of women in the weight room. And they'll talk and they'll ask us questions. And they'll say, how do you keep coming in? And we give them our standard advice. You just show up. You don't debate it. You don't stay at home and say, I don't feel like it. You get in the car. You don't think about it. You just drive over. And you start. You just do it. You just show up. And I think that's what's paralyzing you. You just don't have the oomph to do it. And you're saying, how do I get the oomph to do it? Well, it's a matter of you do it, and then the oomph will follow. You wait for the oomph. That could paralyze you.
Okay.
Try it. Pick a few things that you know you can do. Fold laundry. I can fold laundry. Okay, I'm going to sit and fold laundry. And at the end of it, you'll change your own self-image. You'll say, well, I did that. I can do that. Pick a few other things. Say, yeah, I'll do that too. I can do that. It works, Vicki. Trust me. I got 19 books later. Wouldn't think it for a guy that hates to write. 877-573-7825. This is Dr. Ray, 877-57-EQUAL. Down at the bottom of the show, but hopefully not the bottom of my advice. So call in and we'll talk some more. Very nice to have you with me. Very nice to have you with me. Now, it's a little bit risky for me because I don't want to comment on therapists and their choice of language and how it happens in therapy. We got an anonymous female calling from New York. She got a family member in therapy who has been taught to nurture their inner child. Hi, anonymous. Thanks for calling. You there?
Hi, Dr. Ray. I am. Happy New Year.
Thank you, dear. You too. This kind of terminology makes you nervous, huh?
I don't understand it, and
I don't either. I don't either.
Okay. Well, if you don't, then we're both lost. I have a family member with PTSD, and the best therapy seems to have been nurturing the inner child. And I'm trying to support that. It's been several years now, but it's very confusing for me because she named her inner child, and she refers to herself as her inner child, and it's very protective. And to me, it seems like an identity crisis, and I just wonder, like, at what point should you worry, or should, as long as she's happy, should I just stay out of it?
One thing about therapy, it's hard sometimes to pin down what is actually doing the good.
Mm-hmm.
There is research that says, and this may touch upon what you're asking, is because your family member has been in counseling therapy for years. Mm-hmm. There's research that says one of the main benefits to come out of counseling, in a way, no matter what the particular approach, is something they call the therapeutic alliance. This means, does the client have a sense that the therapist understands their situation, respects their worldview? Do they connect, if you will, with the therapist? Now, that may be happening with your family member. And the idea that she uses terminology like inner child. Now, I know what that means across a lot of contexts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're using it in therapy. All right, there were books written talking about inner child. In other words, what is it about you that needs protected, that needs nurtured, that needs supported? What is it within you? And that may be a way of just kind of summarizing, looking out for myself, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, though, I wouldn't be all that nervous that she's using that terminology. If in fact she's feeling better, getting better, okay, all right. So Rose by any other name, what you're calling it?
Which is her name? That's so ironic you said that.
Oh, see, I knew. Hey, no, it isn't. It is not ironic because I know these things. I have this third ear.
Like I said, I think when you watch someone suffer for so long, you just you want to make sure that it's not going to do more harm than good down the road. Because I don't know if it was a temporary thing or if this is just something she's going to.
Why do you see what you just did? Do you see what you just did, my dear?
No.
You said she's doing better, right?
Yes.
But you worried because, well, maybe she isn't going to be doing better permanently. This could be a temporary doing better. Correct?
Well, she never had kids, and I guess, I don't know, I get concerned when she's named her inner child and she has paintings of her inner child around her house. And I just feel like it's like, are there two people? Is there one? I guess I don't understand it, but if you said it worked and she's happy, I should probably just leave it alone.
Let me give you the good news and the bad news. Okay. The good news, sometimes even flaky terminology resonates with some people. All right?
True.
I don't think I personally have ever used inner child in 40-plus years of doing therapy. I still use inner child.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't do that. But there are therapists who do. And whether your family member benefits from it, I think really comes down to a deeper issue, which is she probably has confidence that this therapist is helping her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
and
so
that is the most important thing.
and I would, most of the therapy that a lot of professionals practice now would fall under the umbrella of what you would call cognitive behavioral therapy. It's looking at the way you think, and it's looking at the way you act, how you interpret situations, how you interpret people, how you interpret yourself. You look at the mindset and how that affects behavior and reactions, and that's been shown by research to be pretty effective. It's pretty effective,
right?
But that doesn't rule out all kinds of.
We live in this world where, people are identifying as cats and dogs and all this stuff. I just got a little nervous. That's all.
Oh, well, okay.
She's identifying as a child.
Oh, she's identifying as well, hey, my wife identifies me as a child, and I don't like that. And I say, yeah, but she says, Raymond, our kids did that, and you're doing that. Raymond, use your manners.
Well, that's a great example. See, I understand that, Ben. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm just going to let it go then.
Yeah. Don't create a nervousness that what you're doing is a what if. Well, what if somewhere down the road this doesn't help her, and then pretty soon she gets kind of goofy on me because this inner child starts to take on a life of its own, and now she's got a split personality. She's got gender identity disorder. Well, you can really run with that, can't you?
Yeah. And that was my concern.
Yeah. Well, think about this. I know enough about this stuff that I can really run with it. And I realize I better not. I'll just make myself neurotic.
Yeah. I don't need that.
Nah.
I definitely don't need that.
No, because you don't need that, because your inner child would not like that.
That's right. That's right.
I got my
in my life. I can't handle another one.
I got my inner old man. That's the problem. I just get off my lawn. Thanks for the call, dear.
Thank you so much for always being there. All right, you have a good day.
They pay me. All right, bye. 877-573-7825. Get to your calls. This is so much fun. I have a lot of fun. It's kind of neat with you people calling in. And hopefully, in between our jocundity, our what the word I would look for, our jocularity, our ludic banter. That why do I know these things? Because I get this thing on my email feed called Word Genius, and they give you all these words, 10 words every time. And they repeat them a lot because they know there's no way you're going to remember these words. I never used the word ludic. It means playful. But I didn't know that. Or muliebrity. You know what that is? Womanly qualities. Why do I know this? Nobody ever uses it. I never use it. They just keep reiterating it in Word Genius. All right, we'll get to your calls. I thank you so much for keeping me company. Andrew, did you get that those songs that have gone out of their 95 years? You can use them now. That I sent you. Did you get that? I hope. Beth from Pennsylvania. She wanted to add something to Vicky's call. Vicky was an earlier call, talked about a young lady, 21 years old, motivation issues, and of course, when you have a broad-based problem with motivation, you have to explore the issue of depression. And Vicky said she was on a medication for a medical condition that one of the side effects, and we don't know how high on the list of side effects it is, but one of the side effects of the medication is fatigue and low motivation. And she said, I cry a lot. So Beth says, hey, I got some ideas here. Thanks for calling, Beth.
Hey, you triple dog dared me to call, so here I am. What's
Women don't have to.
Well, I'm doing it anyway.
All right. Okay. It's
But-
it's your rough side. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, it's so rough, you know. It's like a feather duster. But I was listening to Vicky, right?
Yeah.
She's 21, and my heart is breaking because I think of myself at 21. I was like doing and going and doing, and nonstop. And to be in the position where she is, I didn't feel like that till I was in maybe my 40s, my 50s. I entered into a depression, but it wasn't that bad. But then about 5 years ago, I was working for 10 years, my best friend. I was working as her caregiver. And she passed away. It'll be 5 years, February. Well, after that happened, depression, severe, anxiety, severe, and frost that cake with a good coating of agoraphobia.
Oh, what'd you do? Just remain at home all the time?
I couldn't go out. It's like if my friend's aunt who lived nearby, if she was going to the store, I'd go to the store. Otherwise, I wouldn't go. And
You know what they call that?
It was like,
You know what they call that? Well, I labeled it in my,
No.
my manuscript coming out. That's called an anxiety protector. I can do it if you're
Really?
with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But then that's what it was. Because who can deliver groceries? Who can deliver food? Who can deliver this? Anything so I would not have to go out. And even when I walked my dog, it was like, make sure nobody's around.
You
Make sure
yielded to that
it's nighttime,
anxiety.
nobody sees me.
Beth, you
Yeah,
yielded.
it was horrible.
Okay, I've got a manuscript coming out on anxiety, but one of the things that is very common is that when you felt that anxiety, you said it was horrible because you thought it could
Right.
hurt you. It wasn't going to hurt you. It was just a state of arousal. That's all it was.
Right. It was like this fear, which I had written here something about fear. I gotta find it because I have like 15 notebooks. But I was, and the depression, and I know it was clinical depression. I was diagnosed with it, and of course, here, talk to somebody. Here, take these meds. Oh, they're not good enough. Take these on top. And by the time it was all said and done, I'm taking like 3 or 4 antidepressants. I'm taking like 2 or 3 anti-anxiety meds. And the medication, it made me feel not so depressed. But I hated taking the anxiety medication because I would just sleep. But, in my situation...
If you were on a minor tranquilizer, if you were on a benzodiazepine, one of the major side effects...
Yes. It was, basic Xanax.
Yep, that's a benzo.
And, here, take more. It was like that was their answer. Take more. Take more. And it's like I was like floating in this like mental bubble, but the focus was so gone. But even after that, with the deep depression that like little Vicky is going through, I say little because she's like a kid compared to me and you. I'm relating to you and your rotary phones and your belt that's older than Vicky. But the depression, and I would look at things I so enjoyed doing, and I'm like, I can't do it no matter how much I tried to get my mind to say, but you can. It wouldn't happen. I couldn't, and that was it. No matter what I said to myself, no matter how much I tried to suck myself out.
So
And
Beth,
yeah,
bring me up to date here because I'm going to take a break here shortly, and I want you to get your final conclusion in to help Vicky.
Okay, you have to start with an antidepressant given by a good doctor. Whether or not you see a therapist is up to you. Sometimes they help, sometimes they don't. Mine did not. But bring your mind back to where you want it. And if your medicine is causing depression, you need to talk to your doctor. Find an antidepressant that you can take that will override and give you a better mental state than what your current medication is pulling you down from.
That's
you
right.
need to do it for a time. Maybe it'll take a couple months, maybe even a year. But doing that with doctor's approval, you'll pull yourself out of it. And eventually, you'll find yourself back where you need to be, and you need people around to talk to that you trust. And, like I said, a therapist maybe, but family, friends, people who want to listen because they care about you.
All right.
That's all in the nutshell.
Good stuff, but just keep in mind that whether the medication works depends upon proper diagnosis of the depression. Beth, thank you for the call, dear. Appreciate it so much. Glad you're back on your feet and out of your house. This is Dr. Ray.
Do you own popular index mutual funds or ETFs? If so, you're automatically own shares of companies that conflict with your moral beliefs. Ave Maria mutual funds are managed to conform to pro-life and pro-family values. Long-term investors can invest in the no-load Ave Maria mutual funds. The experienced professional portfolio managers make decisions based on investment fundamentals and pro-life values. You can learn more about Ave Maria mutual funds today at 866-AVE-MARIA or visit AveMariaFunds.com. Fire on the Earth's Peter Herbeck.
Without the light that comes from Christ, we walk in darkness. And darkness is a way of describing this fallen world in which we don't know why we're here even. We can't touch meaning because we ultimately can't see God, and we can't be satisfied because we were made for God. We were made as this entire creation. The whole cosmos was made to the glory of God. It all exists to reveal the glory and the majesty, the beauty, the complexity, the creative love and power of God. And all of it gives praise to Him, except for fallen angels and rebellious human hearts. We're made literally to live for the glory of God, to worship Him, to give thanks to Him. That's what heaven is. It's not just a big prayer meeting, but it is the full celebration of free souls and creatures just overwhelmed by the majesty and beauty of God. And we're sharing in it. We're not just watching it like we do on a movie, that when it's over, it's over. We're in it. We're sharing in the life. And it's total and absolute fulfillment. We can't hardly even imagine what that's like. The best we can do in this world is to have some measure of distraction or something that makes me feel good temporarily, or temporary goals that we kind of have hope in. Those intermediate goals are good goals, but they don't solve the big problem. They don't produce genuine heart that brings peace to the soul and transformation.
Peter Herbeck spreads fire on the earth weekday mornings at 6:30 and again at 11:45 on Ave Maria Radio.
Time goes too fast here. Kevin from Iowa. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Dr. Ray. Thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate it.
I have a sister that I recently discovered was seeing a medium, and she's been seeing this medium regularly for quite some time. And I noticed recently during the family gathering where we get together and we play cards that she was doing some funny, weird, waving of hands, I guess, if you will, over her cards. And after that family gathering concluded, I didn't think much of it, but my wife said, "Did you notice that?" And I said, "Well, I noticed it." And apparently several others have noticed it as well. I had another sister that also attended. I talked to her, and she said, "Well, do you know that she's seeing a medium?" And I said, "No, I did not know that." And I've been listening to various priests and exorcists. I understand that mediums are ways to open portals to demonic activity. So I'm concerned and just wondering, how can I approach my sister on this? I don't want her to put a hex on me or anything crazy like that. So just thoughts on how should I approach her on this?
Your sister have any religious worldview?
Yeah, she's a practicing Catholic, as far as I know, and I think this whole medium thing started many years ago when I have another sister. I've got 4 sisters total, and that sister passed away, and this particular sister I'm talking about was very close to that sister. I knew she had consulted a medium at that time. I told her that's not a good idea. Mediums are not of God. They can open these demonic portals, and that was kind of the end of it. But then I discovered recently that she's still seeing this medium. So,
did she ever stop, Kevin?
I don't know. I'm thinking now that she didn't. that
Okay.
she didn't stop, that she's continued this practice, and it's been going on for a while now. So I'm concerned. I'm concerned.
And she's also kind of mimicking whatever gestures or thinking that she's picking up from this medium, waving her hands over the cards
I
or
assume
something,
that's where the
trying to draw to an
gesture
inside
came from.
straight,
That's exactly what she had even said. That she goes, well, I'm not getting the right cards. So she starts going over her cards with this waving of the hand, and I'm like, At first I thought it was just a joke and didn't think anything of it, but then others had said that she was doing it all day. She was doing it, consistently the whole day.
Well, if you want to broach the subject again, you might say to her, what do you think this medium is going to do for you? Well, if there's any chance to contact our sister, I want to turn over every stone I can possibly turn over.
Yeah.
What do you think this medium gets her power from? Where's the power here? How is she doing this? Well, I just think there's some people just have a certain connection to the other world. Well, question then, do you know what the church teaches about this?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they don't want me to do it. Why wouldn't they want you to do it? Well, I don't really know. I mean, I can't. There's a lot of good comes from it. She's a good person, and she's really helped me a lot. Helped me with my grief. Why would you think the church would be against this then? Get her to explore a little bit without preaching to her. Get her to explore a little bit and to explain herself. Act as though you're very curious.
Yeah. So just ask the questions, basically.
Yeah.
Just draw her out with some questions, try to figure out what she's getting from this. Your thought was exactly what I was thinking, that she's getting something from it.
Oh, yeah.
She's getting some comfort from the medium, maybe to compensate for feelings that she's having over my other sister's death.
Fascinating, though, that she, according to you, is a practicing Catholic, but hasn't really made a connection between the danger in this kind of stuff, and it is dangerous. I've read an awful lot of stuff on exorcisms and demonic oppression and those kinds of things that, you got to be careful what doors you open up. You really do.
Yeah. And it's at odds with her faith. These things are at odds with each other. So I don't know how they can coexist together. I guess that's kind of what.
Well, they can't. But the problem, Kevin, is that for most of us, many people, we make a lot of things coexist together that shouldn't coexist together because we're driven by other motives.
Yeah.
She may even go so far as to say, I know the church is against it. I know they would say it's wrong. I know that what I'm doing is a serious sin, but really I don't care because I think the more important thing is that I have some contact with our sister.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got to deal
either.
Either she's ignorant about it or she's not ignorant about it and she doesn't care.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the advice. It gives me some ways to approach her on this, and hopefully I can have a productive conversation with her.
Good luck there, Kevin.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Oh, very quickly from Ann. Ann, I'm not going to be able to give you the attention I want. You got a 6-year-old who back and forth with the custodial parents, and now she doesn't want to sleep in her own room because back where she goes to visit, her mom lets her sleep in the bed. Is that it?
Yep, pretty much just reversing everything we're trying to do here. Thanks for taking my call. A little more context is she was sleeping just fine on the first floor next to us, and we had to transition bedrooms to the one upstairs because I am going to have a baby in a couple months, so we wanted to get this transition going. And she's psyching herself out, coming down every hour, making up things, playing the sick card, bringing us things that we might have forgotten upstairs, and it's kind of getting in the way of me and my husband's just sanity. We're losing our patience, and we are kind of running out of things to running out of options on what to do here.
Well, probably, again, it's understandable. You're thinking, okay, the poor kid, she's all confused because she gets one particular bedtime context at one place and now another one she's got to sleep by herself. And it comes down to, okay, how much is she scared? How much is she ill at ease? How much is she anxious? And how much is she just resisting? And that's just so hard to ferret out. It truly is. Couple of things here. You call me back, Ann, because I'm not going to give you the amount of advice I want to give you. Couple of things. Make the room nice. Put a little light in there, little guardian angel statue, whatever you have to do to assuage her fears. And then you're going to have to tell her, you know what, honey, you can't do this. You cannot do this. And if you get out of bed and come into our bed when we've said prayers with you and we've comforted you and all of that, then tomorrow, here's what's going to happen. And then whatever privileges you want to take away or however you want to handle that. And I know you might say, yeah, but what if she's really afraid? What if she's really ill at ease? The problem is sometimes you have to face your fear to conquer it. Walk with God.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. The Doctor Is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.